All right now, man. Shoot,
Huh? Hold on.
it's, it's game time. I'm wondering where my boy is at. He he's supposed to be here, people, but I don't know that he's getting ready to sit down here. We guess we starting game time here. This is big time here.
Too much
Rose
going
Bowl.
on, bro. We got the Olympics and we got the politicians that's hot and ready, bro.
All right. Oh well,
Woo,
now
man, that was something else,
you
man. That
gotta you
teared
gotta
me up.
you got to give me some information about what you think here, because we start off our show now
No, no,
until
I ain't
this election is
I
over
ain't
with.
political. Didn't you see it?
Until the election is over with, we start our show out talking about what's going on here. So what's
Oh my
happening,
goodness.
man? Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey, you know, politicians promise a lot of stuff, and a lot of them try to get things done. And we can only see, I'm not going to get too high and I'm not going to get too low. But one thing for sure, as far as I'm concerned, the only people that's inspiring me is the Democrats. That's the way I feel. So Kamala Harris and this new guy that she just chose, Walz, the governor of Minnesota, he has all the credentials, just like she has all the credentials and experience. So I'm satisfied. It's up to the American people. That's all I can say. It's up to the American people. I know how I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote for my best interests. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I know 45, he ain't gonna do nothing. I know that. But cause chaos. So but anyway, you the one had a lot of stuff you had on there. You had a lot of stuff on your agenda. I only got one thing that I'm gonna talk about. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about is that we are in a shift, a new shift, a paradigm shift. We've always been doing shifts, but this one right here, I think, is the greatest. This is going to be the most important shift that we ever made. Either we're going to go down or we're going to go up. And that's all on the American people. So whatever the American people choose as far as their voting and who they choose for president, who they choose for Congress, and who they choose for the Senate. So to me, and I was looking at, and I'm gonna tell you this is like an ongoing series, and each time I'm gonna spend about 10 minutes on the paradigm shift. One of the shifts is business, corporations, stocks and bonds, and there is a transition. There is a transition right now that's going on right now. Uh, you saw the stock market go down over 1,000 points.
Mm-hmm. That was uh that was a shock there for me, at least. That was a shock there. What had
It wasn't
happened?
a shock for me
It was to
because
me.
I know that these people have been waiting on the right time and an excuse to do some profit taking. If you look at the big,
So most of this downward trend is because those folks out there were taking profits and stuff off of their
well,
stock.
if you look at what the big ballers were doing, they was only taking out 1% of their investments. They got millions of shares in 20, 30 accounts,
Mm-hmm.
different companies.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just profit sharing. Now, the one thing for sure, now I don't want to elude anybody, but there were some key reasons why they use the excuse, which is legitimate, is because there's a lot of things that's going on. You know,
Well,
because number one, the Fed,
immediately Trump started to blame
Trump ain't had shit to
Harris
do
and
with this.
Biden and
Trump
Harris and
didn't have
stuff on
nothing to
that.
do with this.
I understand that, and even those
Because what Trump said don't mean nothing. The
well, I'm
reason
just
why these
saying.
people,
Now, hold on. I'm just
you
saying
saying what? Okay,
that's
go
what
ahead
he
then.
said. He jumped right on it. That's what he said. And a lot of people probably are like me and stuff who don't watch the stock market. So we're not as on it as you are. So as soon as he said it, we said, oh man, I'm saying to myself, oh man, the stock market is going down. Oh. But then I went and looked on to it wasn't C-SPAN, but it was the station that the stock market is on that shows, and they have all these guys and stuff talking about the market, the money markets and all that. And as soon as I went on there and the commentator and stuff on, there was a lady, I forgot her name and everything, but she asked one of the professionals and stuff there about that drop. And he said the same thing you did, that them people were just, it's not nothing normal. The Dow Jones is so daggone high now and everything that 100 drop and everything doesn't mean nothing. It's like
1%.
it's like, going out there and pissing in the ocean. It don't mean nothing. So
Let me
once
just
he
say this. Let me just say this. This is something that a lot of people don't know. Well, I don't know if this is relevant, but what I was saying is that we are going through a paradigm shift. And the reason why I say that is that corporations right now, Fortune 500 in 2000, 52% of the Fortune 500 in 2000 do not exist. 52% of the Fortune 500 companies do not exist.
for a reason. Are they just gone,
They went out of
or
business.
has
They got
somebody
mergers,
absorbed them into their?
all kinds of situations. But what I'm saying is that when you look at this type of changeover in less than 30 years because of technology, AI, we have IT, all of these softwares, everything that's changing things up. We're going through a whole digital currency. We're going through a whole transition of money. And then you have all of these different. We did a program, and we didn't go deep dive in it, but all the bad money that's out there that's being transferred. So the thing is, but here's one thing I want to let people know, that the corporate uh, Transparency Act. Here's the thing that they're doing now. We have over 33 million companies out here. But what they did was, because I looked it up, I said, okay, how many companies were there in 1960? They didn't have a number. How many companies in the 1970s? They didn't have a number. And it goes all the way up to 2010. That's when they start keeping data of the major companies or small businesses that we have in the country. But you know what they did? They said, hey, we're gonna fix this. And you know what they did? They have a thing called register with the financial crimes, and they call it the CTA, the Corporate Transparency Act, and it's an enforcement. and you have to register that. And then on top of that, all the people that got the LLC and corporations, they have to register with the BOI, which is the beneficial ownership information. And when they start that business, they have to fill out that form within 90 days with the US Treasury. So now they will be able to track all of these millions and millions of businesses. So they'll know how many companies are in America. Because beforehand, they didn't even know how many companies there were in America. If you got a business and you file something with IRS, first thing IRS is gonna say, did you register with the BOI? Did
And
you
Dun and
register with the
Bradstreet.
CTA?
And Dun and Bradstreet.
Yeah. So the point is that that's a good thing because you have all of these companies and corporations, that small businesses and everything. Some of them just do willy-nilly and they just, and they don't, and they do all kind of bad things. So now they know. So anyway, what I'm just saying is that getting back to what we were talking about, the reason why the stock market, and some of them are legitimate reasons why they was doing some profit taking, the small investor or the mid-sized investor, because you have the Federal Reserve refuse to bring down the interest rate when they can bring it down at least 50 basis points. The technical issues with the so-called brokers. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but there's an article that these brokers claiming that you can't even get through to these brokers now. They put they pass code in there and everything, and they can't even get into the system. They've been having. I'm talking about. You know how you individually go in and you got some shares and you got an account and you go in and they can't even get in. They've been having problems with that. So a lot of the people are upset with that. So now, then also, there's a problem with disappointment in manufacturing data because the jobs report as well. The jobs report was only 114 million when it should have been well over 150. So that right there was the thing. Then the Japanese sell-off. The Japanese invest in American companies, invest in our securities. So they sold a lot. They took all that out. Then you had the Buffett effect. The Buffett effect is that they saw that Warren Buffett was selling a lot of shares. That man owns almost over a billion shares of Bank of America.
And he sold Apple too. He sold Apple.
He sold Apple.
Sold some Apple shares.
BOA and Apple he was selling.
But he did that. I thought because they asked him why he did that and everything, and I think his answer was that he needed some capital. He wanted to have some capital on hand,
some cash.
So they're sitting on what, $150 billion and stuff in cash.
Man, look, I'm telling you, this is what these people do. But the thing is, you got to watch what they're doing with that cash they got. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, because he didn't say anything about why he wanted the cash. He just said, "Hey, I need some cash on hand." Yeah. So what you think is that he is figuring that something's going to happen where he's going to need some cash to buy something.
Because when it goes down, he's going to buy it.
He's going to buy it up.
He in there. But let me just say this.
Go ahead.
NVIDIA, NVIDIA. Is that how you pronounce it? NVIDIA?
NVIDIA.
I just want to say, that's the AI company, and they do.
I know. From Australia. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. April 15, 2005. This right here is going to trip you out. If you would have invested in 2005, $1,000, right now today, it would be worth $657,000.
That's a half a
Now
million
that's
dollars.
only a
Over
thousand
over ha-
dollars.
over $750,000, huh? On a thousand
That's
dollar
only
bet.
$1,000, bro. Just
But
think of the people that voted, put 5,000 or 10,000 and bought 5,000 of that and just kept it in there. I'm just saying. See, here's the thing that, and I'm just saying, people like me. I ain't gonna say people like us, but people like me. I don't trust these people because it's all gambling anyway.
I
But if
know.
you get lucky to find one stock or two stocks where you put some money in there and just leave it there
And hold on to it, yeah.
and hold on to it, don't take no money out, just keep on letting it roll over. And man, you never know what'll happen. So
Got
anyway, I just wanted to put that out there.
yeah.
But I want to get back to the manufacturing. I'm done here, okay? And then you can go on to your
No, you can
political
go
thing
ahead.
that you are.
You
But
can go
here's the
ahead.
thing that really shook me. There were in the 1960s and 70s, there were over 20 million manufacturing jobs. Today, there's only 14 million people working in manufacturing. And the reason, this is the reason they give. The skill gap, type labor market, and right now, and recruitment, labor shortage. So that means that they do not train people or educate people for those jobs. Right now, in the manufacturing business, right now, there are almost 2 million unfilled jobs in manufacturing. 2 million. That's ridiculous. Now, another thing is the reason why we dropped from 20 to 14 is that Mexico took a lot of those jobs because they took those manufacturing over there.
Hmm.
India, Japan, and China. So when they say manufacturing is down, well, there's a reason why manufacturing is down because these doggone manufacturing companies don't want to train nobody. There's a reason why. They want to try to overwork the few labor people they got because, just like any other business, everything goes up and down. So therefore, they don't have to keep paying people. You know the works, how that works. So that's the deal. You got almost 2 million unfilled jobs. You can't tell me that you can't fill those positions and train people. And those jobs, a lot of those jobs start at $70,000, $80,000 a year. So anyway, basically that's all I wanted to say about that. As far as the stock market, as far as what's going on with the business world.
I got
And
some.
that right there is a paradigm switch and a shift. That's what's going on right now. We're going through a paradigm switch. And the next time I'm gonna bring it up, and the things that I'm gonna bring it up in, the paradigm shift, just like I did in the business world, and I can go on for a few other things, but I'm gonna stop there. Religion, communities and neighborhoods, and sports. I'll let you
Okay.
tackle the politics.
No, I got some other things other than politics and stuff down here that I want. Well, I guess it is. If I'm looking at it, a lot of it is politics. Yeah, it is. You're right. It's most of it is political. But I had a question and stuff about this paradigm shift. When you did your research on it, what was your conclusion and stuff in what you found out? What, where does this country, or where does the individual groups and stuff out there who are working in manufacturing, can they expect that this number is going to fall down further, or is that 14 million going to remain stagnant?
That's a hard question because, as far as I don't know all the data, but I can give you my speculation.
Okay, go ahead. That's what I was asking. Your conclusion when you did
Well,
this research.
well, here's the thing: is that you have to realize, man, we're in a different era, bro. It ain't like when we came up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to ask you. You did this work and stuff and that, and you did some of the research and stuff to find out about this paradigm shift.
Well,
So because
you know for a fact that when we came up, we could work in a factory.
absolutely
We had those opportunities.
correct,
And if you worked on those skills and that's what you want to do, you can grow. That's what you did.
correct.
And I couldn't take it. I said, hey, I'm going to college, get my degree, work in accounting or sell something or whatever. That was me because I'm bad with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I could do is calculate and catch a basketball with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that you have kids now, and you know this, we talked about this. You have kids now, they can make money in 100 different ways without sitting here at a desk. They can and they can do all kind of things to make money. They don't have to use their hands. They don't even have to think. They can be their own bosses. They know that. You know, when you got people that's playing games making over $100,000 or $200,000 a year, you got people that learn the stock market and know how to day trade. You got people that know how to do the YouTube and come up with different topics and subject matters and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You got people that know how to side hustle and make a good living.
So you were saying that in your conclusion and stuff that this paradigm shift that has came about is not a bad thing, but it could be a good thing
Well,
as
it is a
well.
bad thing, and then it's a good
Why is
thing.
it?
But
Why is it? Why are you saying it's bad?
well,
Why
because
would
number one, you're gonna always need carpenters. You're
you
gonna
gonna need what?
always need carpenters.
Okay,
You're gonna always need plumbers. You're gonna
but that,
always need
but that's not.
welders.
But those people are manufacturers.
Oh, some of them are. They in that, and they need those types of things in the manufacturing because they have to build certain things. So
Yeah,
what I'm saying,
but the amount of people and stuff who's in the industrial and manufacturing process and stuff and everything, majority of those folks and stuff aren't those you would call them skilled people, and most companies or plants and stuff don't have that many plumbers and carpenters and stuff and everything who are working inside
but
those buildings. Those
well, that
those
may be true. But what I'm saying is that when you build in a manufacturing company, a lot of things are digital. A lot of things are robotic. So the robots are sort of taking over manufacturing to a large degree, and then you have to have technical knowledge in order to, uh, sort of really, take charge of those types of situations. You have to have the knowledge to know how to technically do those things. So that takes a lot of education in order to do those things. So some people don't want to spend their life doing those kinds of things because it's robotic itself. So in other words, that's the reason why so many companies went overseas because a lot of people they like the arts. People here in this country like the arts. They like different other things than doing manufacturing work. They want to dress nice.
so what you're saying, Dan, is that manufacturing has left here, and we don't need to put manufacturing back into this country.
To say that there would be the reason why. That's the reason why we're losing.
We're losing in what way?
Well, the reason why When you don't make stuff, that's what makes us losing. We're not making anything. Everything is being shipped overseas to be made.
Okay. And does that make you strong because you're letting other people do your work, or does that make you weaker because you're letting other people do your work?
Well, right now, you got to look at where we
Well,
are,
well,
consumers.
I'm gonna take you back to what you said
I'm just saying,
about
we are
5 minutes
consumers.
ago. No, I'm gonna take you back to what you said about 5 minutes ago. You said I don't like to work with my hands, so I went to
Well, that's
school
me.
and but I'm
That
just
ain't
saying.
everybody.
Oh, okay, but so so I'm saying to you that you said you don't like doing
No,
that.
it's not
So
that I
I
don't
can
like
look
to
at
do
those
it.
those 6 million people
Hey,
may think the same way you think, that they don't want to work with their hands. So
no,
I'm
no,
going to
no.
give these
You
jobs to
understand?
let
It
somebody else
ain't
do
that
the
I
work.
don't like it. It's not that I don't like it. It's that I can't. It's not me.
But I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. Most people are probably saying the same thing you were saying. Those 6 million people who lost their manufacturing jobs say, I don't want to be going into manufacturing. I'm gonna let somebody else do my work. And I'm gonna be the one who's sitting on the top and everything, watching those folks down there in those unskilled jobs and stuff and everything, doing my work for me and everything, and then they can supply me with all my needs because I done figured out another way to become rich or to make money or to live comfortably other than working in a plant and walking out of there dirty and have to buy steel toe shoes and all that stuff and everything. And so there's nothing. I'm thinking that from what you're saying that there's nothing wrong with that because it
It's
looks
not a
like
thing.
it
It's
looks
not a.
like it looks like we're on top because we don't have to do those mundane jobs and everything that the other people in these other countries and stuff are doing. They sitting down there doing that piecework, and we don't like piecework here in this country, so we shift it over there to the folks in China or in Mexico or whatever because they like doing piecework. So I
Well, no,
think
it's a
I think
job,
in a
but
way that we're better off because the other folks are doing our work for us and everything, and we can sit back, keep our hands clean, and everything,
but wait a
and
minute, Ed, Ed,
live in nice homes or whatever, or
Ed,
apartments and everything, and drive nice
Ed.
cars and all that, and still don't have to work in their plant and get dirty.
But Ed, we have to make stuff in this country the essentials for this country. So therefore, we have to have people and persuade people to work in the manufacturing sector.
But is that what we and
Well, once
it's
again, the thing
I
is, you
don't feel
say
that way, just like you just didn't
no,
feel that
no.
way. I
You
thought it
sitting
at
there,
first
you
that
saying,
manufacturing going away,
wait a minute.
but I still see us becoming rich and stuff doing other things
Wait a
because we
minute.
don't have to
That's
do
not.
that.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because
Go ahead.
there's people, that make in the manufacturing sector. They might make $75,000. They might have to work extra hours to make that, but they're making just as much as somebody with a college degree,
Well, then that's fine.
if not more.
But they're still doing the work, and we don't have to do the work and make just as amount of money as
Wait a
they
minute.
do.
Are you saying that what I did for a living wasn't work?
Yeah, because you didn't get you didn't work in the manufacturing.
Cause
You
I was
didn't get
working
your
on a
hands
calculator.
dirty. You didn't get your hands dirty and
Why
everything.
is
You
that?
sat
Why is
back and
that?
said,
How come
"I'm the
that's not
man."
work?
You
That
took.
is just as much work as somebody working in the manufacturing.
So
That was my choice.
and
That's we all
and
have a
my point
choice.
and my point is that
So in
you
other
didn't
words,
do that
so a
hard work
person
and you still made
see
money.
you have that
And
manufacturing
you sitting
mentality.
there with your
You got
glass of wine
when I
and
listen,
smoking your
listen, listen.
cigars,
When I
and
worked
those
when
folks
I
out
worked
there breaking their
when I
backs.
worked in St. Louis and worked in the manufacturing in St. Louis some 50 some years ago, I used to go, and that's just before I went to college, and I used to go to the bathroom and they was cussing out college people.
Right? Because they were jealous.
That's your attitude.
That's because they were jealous. They were jealous of the college people. But
See,
all I'm
see,
saying is that there's nothing wrong. Because 4 or 5 years ago, Ted, I thought same way you thinking and stuff right now. We need to bring manufacturing back. And then it dawned on me that we might be able to make this without bringing manufacturing and stuff back, because we actually, like I'm just trying to say, is that other people in other countries, because we're not in a market and stuff that includes the borders of the United States. We're in a world market. And if we don't think in the world, then we're not going to be able to make it. We can't, we can't, we can't, excuse me, that was somebody bugging me and calling me here on my phone. I should have shut it off. We're able as a country and stuff to think like we're in a world market. So I consider China and everything just like being here in the borders of the United States. We have uh, manufacturing and stuff. Only thing is that our manufacturing is a little bit further away than it used to be, but we're still in the same position. We still got people who are in control of what's going on. Just like you sat up there in the bank and everything, or you sat there on the newspaper and everything, and you produced a product. That product was news. It was media. You sat there in the bank and everything, and you produced something and everything, and that was profit for the bank. And that profit and everything kept you a job. It made you money, and you produced something. I think that you produced something. I think you made something. You produced a profit. So you made money. You just didn't do it physically going out there and working. So I think a lot of the other folks,
I didn't work.
huh? You didn't work. Well, you didn't get your hands dirty. You got up, put your clothes, put on your shirt and your tie, your suit and everything, clean yourself up and everything, and you went in, and your work consisted of you sitting there using your head and putting together financial statements and worksheets or whatever, balance sheets and stuff for the bank, and telling people that, hey, I'm not going to give you a loan because you don't qualify. So
But here's the thing, the point I'm trying to make is when you think about manufacturing, and you heard this term, and everybody's heard it because it was a big deal in 2020, supply chain.
mm-hmm,
Supply chain.
mm-hmm,
When you have other countries that are putting your food stuff together,
mm-hmm,
and then it has to be shipped from their country to here,
mm-hmm,
and then diesel travel to different parts of the country,
mm-hmm,
that's an issue because they use this as a sort of kind of example. Toilet paper,
mm-hmm,
the shelves was empty.
mm-hmm,
You know, all kinds of things were empty because we were waiting because the supply chain had stopped because they had stopped working.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So now, how do we become self sufficient? We couldn't even make the mask. We had problems with the mask covering
mm-hmm,
your face because who supplied it? Another country. The gowns, there's a shortage. So what I'm saying is that be, the thing is that, and I'm sure that certain people in the government realize that these things, these supplies, and all of the things that is necessary that has to be manufactured, those things have to be looked at because there are essential things that we as Americans have to have. That's a big deal. And when you got 6 million people that's out of manufacturing, when, 40, 50 years ago, there were 20 million, now it's 14 million. That means a lot of jobs that went overseas. And that's only 6 million. But I'm telling you right now, as far as businesses, there are over 50 million companies from America is using cheap labor. I
And I don't
apologize, 50,000 companies.
and I don't think anything is wrong with that because we're making our money and stuff as on a service side and everything. We're not worrying about the manufacturing and stuff side of it. Uh, and the problem that you just said about toilet paper and paper towels or whatever not being in the store because their chain has broke down, that can happen anytime. That can happen if that company is right here within our local borders and stuff here. Those things can happen. And there's something may happen where the company that produces the toilet paper and everything, all of a sudden, uh, they couldn't get trees and stuff and everything and bring it into their plant or whatever, and they're down for 5 or 6 days or 10 days or whatever, and then all of a sudden we got a shortage. The same thing can happen in any other products and stuff that we are using and stuff in this country that is produced and stuff outside of our local borders. And I use that word local borders and stuff and everything because now I try to let folks know and tell my children everything. We no longer are dealing in an economy that is sitting within our border. You have to change your way of thinking and stuff. And most of the young folks have because they're used to it and stuff now. The economy is not built on what goes on here in the United States, it's built on what's going on in the world. If something happened here in the United States of America and we had something happen to Wall Street, every country in this world is going to suffer because we are in a world economy. And that's the facts. And so far, our economic base and stuff and what we have and stuff here is the most powerfulest thing that we have and everything because our dollars and stuff used to be based on gold. It's no longer based on gold. It's based on what people think about us. It's the good faith and trust of this country. That's it. That's nothing. No metal is backing this up. We don't have enough gold to back up our economy. But people buy and trade our dollars and take our dollars and stuff and everything before they would take a Japanese yen. You can go to any country in this world, and if you offer them their currency and the US dollar, what do you think they're going to take? The
They're going to
US
take the US
dollar.
dollar.
They're going straight. And that's how strong we are and stuff out there in this world. So that's our strength. It comes from who we are as a country. We don't have to produce everything within our country. We can, if the plant in China broke down and can't give us our phones and stuff, our cell phones and stuff that we have and that we use and stuff every day, or our TV sets or our computers or whatever, they don't bring that stuff in here, we're gonna break them folks and everything and say, hey, we go on and start manufacturing our stuff in Korea. or we're going to go to India and manufacture our stuff. So they have a vested interest in supplying us, just like a company who was sitting here within our borders. They have a vested interest in supplying, because if they don't, they're going to go bankrupt and everything, because people are going to start buying their products from other places. That's just like you. If you go into Publix and everything, and Publix is not giving you what the heck you want, where the heck you going? You're going to go to Kroger, you're going to go to somebody else to buy what you want to buy. And they have an obligation to give you the product that you want at the price you want. Just like your Snickers bar. I remember what you said now about your Snickers.
Yeah, I just bought one 2 days ago.
Oh, okay, man. Well, anyway, we're gonna get to these next few things because our time is getting out here, man. This stuff is going by real quick. I put on here something about we all have done something that I think that we need to really look at and everything. We've taken this man, Joe Biden, and sort of threw him into a corner, and they started pushing him into that corner. Now, at first, everybody was congratulating him for what he did, and he did this, and he did that, and all that. But as of right now, he's a lame duck. True? Man's a lame duck. Already. It's not after the election is over if he becomes a lame duck. He's became a lame duck since
Well, what does
Kamala
that
has
mean?
came on
I mean,
scene.
I know what lame up is, but come on, bro. We ain't got but 3-4 months.
But still, how do we treat this guy who is now sitting in the sidelines, on the sidelines and everything? And matter of fact, you done took his uniform off and he can't play no more.
He playing right now.
Huh?
He's still a president.
But he's out of the game.
No,
He's
he's
a
not.
lame duck. Huh? He's a lame duck. I think he's a
Tell
lame
me
duck. I think
exactly what can he do right now? Because they're on vacation right now. They ain't gonna be back
that's
until next month.
well, I'm pretty sure that if he were still in the game and stuff now, he wouldn't be on vacation. He'd be out there working.
He'll be
But
campaigning.
yeah, he'd
He's
be
working. He's
campaigning.
still working.
Well, he's still a lame duck because we don't look at him no more as the
But
president.
tell me
I don't think.
what can he do right now? What should he be doing right now?
That was my point in bringing up that question.
What should he be doing? Because number one, he can't
that's my
campaign
point.
because
Yeah,
he's not running for president.
yeah. Well, I want anybody viewing this video and stuff, please put down a comment and stuff here about what we should do about old Joe. He's a lame duck and everything. Now, how does he progress on through this and stuff and everything? Because I don't know.
They're gonna give him his flowers.
It just dawned on me yesterday and stuff what had happened and stuff to him, because I have not been seeing him out there in the news media anymore. He has not been out there, other than the fact that he brought up that he was going to do something about the Supreme Court. Other than that, that news cycle and stuff has put him on the back burner. He's not there anymore. And my point and stuff is that what do we do? What does he do? How would you feel and stuff being a lame duck sitting out there? He's supposed to be, and your title is President of the United States. Current
Well,
president.
he's the president of the United States. And what he should be doing is what he's doing now. He's probably on the phone talking to Congress people to get out there and promote Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris. He's probably going to Well, he's not going anywhere because if you knew he was going somewhere, it'd be known. But the point is, he can do a lot of phone work. He has a lot of connections, and the thing is that what were some of the things that he wanted to do? He did everything that he said he wanted to do. He might have not did it as what he wanted to do as far as uh, things getting passed, but he made an attempt to do it. So when Orange next week, when is it next week?
Yeah.
The DNC.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna get his flowers then, bro.
I hope so. I hope
He's
that
gonna get his flowers.
I hope that the Democratic Party gives him his just dues and stuff, as because he threw himself on the sword, and I just have some empathy and stuff and everything and stuff for him at this
Well,
point.
I don't have
I
that much
didn't.
empathy for him. I mean, as
I
far as that
didn't. I
goes,
didn't before that, but I do now and stuff
but they
because
did it just right, though. I think they did it right because number one, he said he was only going to run one term. That
when
was
did he
the
say that?
initial thing
When did he say that?
when he first was running.
I didn't hear that.
Go back and check.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I didn't
and
hear
the
him say
thing
that
was
because
is that there were people that ran against him.
he was running for re-election just like he hadn't said that.
Right?
Anyway,
Absolutely.
he was running for
He thought
re-election
he
just like
had
he
it, but
hadn't
he
said it.
didn't
Yeah,
have it.
I didn't know he had said that because I wasn't really high on him on his first term when he became the nominee for the Democratic Party and everything. I really wasn't really there behind him really as strong as I feel about Kamala or Barack Obama or anybody. I wasn't, or even Hillary. I just thought that, man, when they pushed him over their top and everything, I thought that this was something that those old established Democrats had done and everything, and they pushed this man and stuff upon us. And I don't think that was a fair process and everything and stuff when they did it. I voted for him now. I did not vote for him because there's no way in the world I'd have voted for Trump. No way. So, but I just thought at that time and stuff because I never listened to anything that he said. All I did was wait until November, and I went to the ballot box and stuff and said Biden Harris. Boom, and I pushed that button and voted for him, and he won. And I'm glad to see that he did because I see this crazy fool and stuff right after that and everything went out and tried to steal this country away from us and everything. And I said, oh man, we did the right daggone thing at the right time. So
Well, I saw an interesting thing on C-SPAN yesterday. They had some prominent lawyers and the National Bar Association,
mm-hmm.
and they are encouraging every lawyer, not only in their association, to get involved
Mm-hmm.
in law and order and making sure that the elections
It's fair
correct.
and they don't try to steal it.
Correct. So what they're doing is recruiting hundreds, thousands of lawyers to do pro bono work, to get out there. The new lawyers, the wannabe lawyers, and the elderly lawyers. And it was a whole um, C-SPAN for a whole hour and a half, practically, and I think that's a good thing. That you remember when President Obama was running for office, what did he do?
He had lawyers for Obama,
There you go.
and they were all over the country.
Thank you.
And they had them in every state. Every state has their own head office for the lawyers. And when they came into early voting and voting time and stuff, they had designated attorneys and stuff and everything to be in key precincts and stuff and everything to
Hey,
watch what
I
was going
remember when
on.
they had problems.
Yeah,
Lawyers was right on top of it.
right on top of it. He's sitting right there looking at it and asking questions or whatever, especially in those key precincts. Uh, and ironic that you said something about that because uh, Rachel Maddow did a show the other day, I think 2 days ago, one night ago or 2 days ago, and she's been really on top of the things and stuff that are going on in this campaign, things that the other side and stuff and everything are trying to do, any underhanded stuff and everything that's going on, because I think a lot of the knowledgeable and investigative reporters and people out there who do an investigative work and stuff, as far as the media is concerned, are looking at these folks and everything, and they are becoming very, very, very afraid of them. At that rally and stuff that Trump had here in Georgia, and that was one of the things I had put down on our agenda and stuff about Georgia on my mind. And I was going to ask you that about Florida. What's going on there in the state of Florida and stuff and everything, because I've been hearing stuff, and the drum beats and stuff about maybe Florida might be in play and stuff this time and stuff instead of going to the Republican side. But anyway, getting back to her,
I've been hearing those rumors.
anyway, getting back to her story there, Trump was at this rally and he was dogging out the governor and the state secretary of state, and saying bad things about them at this rally. I mean, he really, really went out there, called them all kind of names, did all kinds of stuff. And during the rally, there were certain people down there that he was pointing out. There were two ladies and stuff who were sitting down in the audience, and Trump looked down at them and they highlighted them. You're doing a good job. Congratulations and stuff. I'm keeping you in mind. You're doing a good job. Well, Rachel Maddow went a little bit further and everything and sent her folks out there to find out who these two ladies and stuff were that he was talking about that were doing a good job. Guess who they are?
Who?
They're in charge of the Board of Elections here in Georgia.
What does that mean?
That means that they are in charge of the Board of Elections. That means that anything goes on around here in this election that goes on in this state, they are in charge of it. And he's looking to them to do his dirty work and stuff for him.
Just because he calling out don't mean it's gonna happen.
If you got people who are in charge of the Board of Elections, buddy, you can put a lot, especially in the close elections, they can do a lot of damage.
That's true. But ain't nobody want to go to jail.
I don't think they really care.
Wow.
I don't think they really care. Look at what's going on here with this case that Fannie Willis had going on. It's sitting there in limbo. It may not even happen. And she got a whole lot of people who were involved in that fiasco that happened here in Georgia. And most of them are sitting around now, and that case is sitting in limbo. She has no idea if she's going to even be in charge of that case and stuff now. And it is being held up until at least after the election is over with. So these people have no fear.
Yeah, that's true.
They have no fear that anything's going to happen to them, because those people who stormed the Capitol and everything, the Republicans consider them as heroes. They've been convicted, but they're looking at them as heroes. So that's what I'm saying. They don't care. We can get away with this. So we need to be aware and stuff with what the heck's going on out there, because I think that the Democratic Party and those lawyers and stuff that you just talking about who was on C-SPAN and they're recruiting these attorneys and stuff to go around there, we gonna need them, brother. We gonna need them. I'm telling you. I have been at them polls, man, and I can tell you that it's some bad stuff can start going on and stuff. They can turn people away and stuff for anything. I watched them do it depending on who's in charge of the polls on the day of election. They can frustrate people. They can make them stand in line for hours.
You see what your state just did, don't you?
To who?
Your state.
Mm-mm. They done a lot of stuff here, but go ahead.
Well, they have internet. The state did this.
Yeah, well, we talked about that the last thing. Yeah, we talked about that, about them going on and stopping these folks from doing this. Well,
No, you can cancel anybody's
they don't
registration.
cancel them. You can put up a dispute against this person and stuff and everything, and the dispute against that person and stuff can stop them from going to the polls and stuff, and be qualified or verify them as someone who is a voting who can vote in these particular precincts. So if you got someone who was in a precinct that you're in and you know that person and stuff and everything, you can go on to their website and say they're not eligible to vote, and they will take them off the polls until that person goes back in and verifies his information that he is eligible to vote in that precinct. The state of Georgia and Stacey Abrams and stuff has a group and a committee and stuff now and everything who is dealing and stuff with that exact issue. They're going on to these websites and stuff now, and they're checking these people's names and these roles and stuff, who these folks are throwing out these roles. And if they're Democrats, they're calling them up and everything and say, hey, you have been taken off the rolls and everything because someone has said that you aren't eligible to vote. So then what happens and stuff is that when they do this and stuff, they have to say to them why. They can either say, well, they don't live in this district, or they're not qualified, or something happened. Anything they can say. Well, when they do that, then they have to say why. And once they say why, as long as this person corrects the information and stuff and everything with the Board of Elections and everything, they can put them back on the rolls again. But it
I'm
creates
making
some
a habit
problems.
of every day I check my
Check
registration.
your voter registration. And a lot of people aren't doing that, Ted. A lot of folks aren't doing it. That's a part of voter suppression. And we need, hey,
I mean, the thing is that this is my opinion. People don't realize this is a ongoing battle, fight until the end.
hmm
It never stops.
absolutely.
You have to make sure
When
that you always register. You have to, do all the things that's necessary to make sure that you are ready for anything, because these people, they can do whatever they want to do. Or at least they try to do everything they want to do.
the paramount thing, Ted, that I believe in my own belief here and everything, and I'm going to let you know why I believe this, that these things that they are doing and stuff is that the Make America Great folks have been in power so long in this country, and they're seeing that their people are coming in to take away their power. And if you try to take away somebody's power, they're going to fight to keep it. And this is their fight to keep that power for as long as they can. And they're going to do whatever they can to keep that power, including immigration. They don't want these people of color crossing them borders, because eventually they're going to become voters. They're going to come into their precincts and they're going to be right there with them, and they're going to put their people in power. And they are afraid of that because they already know that they are in a minority and stuff right now. The Caucasian, the white folks, are in a minority. All you people out there who listen to us, they're in the minority. They're no longer the majority out there. So they're trying to hold on to power, and in reality, you can't blame them. So we just have to get out there and stay in that fight. So, and the only fight that we have and stuff is our vote. That's it.
That's
You
it.
got to. That's it. You got to go out there and vote, because that vote, that one vote you got, you can say before, "Oh, my vote don't count." Yes, it does. That vote
And then
counts, brother.
when you put a person in, this is the thing. Whenever you have any kind of issue, you ain't got to make no hullabaloo, but just make a call.
Mm-hmm.
Put in your complaint. You get enough people calling. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican. You get enough calls, they're going to have to respond because they're worrying about whether they're going to get reelected or not.
Mm-hmm. And right now is the best time to do it right now, because everybody's running for reelection, especially in the House. They're running for reelection. So you're right. This stuff we got to get done here. Anyway, Ted, we at our breaking point here, brother. Oh, people, it was certainly nice to have you all here. We'll see you guys on Thursday here. So we're done here. Bye bye.